Hey gamers, everybody, welcome to another episode of Game Time. Hope everyone's doing well. My name's Kyle, your host for this episode, and we got a triple treat for you here today. I was originally probably just going to do one episode each of talking about these great flashback systems, but then I thought, quality over quantity. I think if we can kind of hurry up and sandwich all three reviews into one video here, I thought that was kind of a better deal. I'm just going to really quickly go through what these are about, because I think a lot of us who are fans of retro gaming and classic gaming like these pretty much know what the deal is. So, very briefly, for those of you who don't, At Games kind of makes these great flashback systems. They've been doing the Atari one for quite some time. I actually have the first Atari Flashback. It's kind of shaped like a 7800 back. It was a few years back ago where I saw that, and they had about 30 games on it. It was pretty fun. And then they did the Atari Flashback 2 probably about a year later, and I always meant to get that one. It was shaped more like the classic Atari 2600, but I never got around to it. I didn't even know they did a third one. It just kind of fell off the radar. But I did pick up not long ago, and actually one of my first reviews on this particular channel was of the Flashback 4. If you remember, that was like video number 1 or 2 on this channel. They do a Sega Genesis one as well, with built-in Sega Genesis games. And that is pretty cool, because that even has a cartridge slot. You can play original Genesis cartridge slots on those. Unfortunately, these three don't have those. I was really hoping the Atari one would. But who knows, maybe in the future. So I wasn't necessarily big on picking up the Flashback 5, but I noticed they added about, I think Flashback 4 had 80 games, 75 built-in games for the Flashback 4. This one has 92, and it had a couple really notable ones. One, and we'll show off the list here in just a second too. Where did it go? It's they added a lot of these M Network games to it. Dark Cavern. Oh man, that game is a highly recommended Atari 2600 game, Dark Cavern. Probably one of my top 5 for sure, and that happened to be on here. So a lot of these games I haven't played, or I shouldn't say, a lot of these new editions I have not played, and a couple new homebrew games on there. There's a very simple homebrew game. It's called, I don't know if it's necessarily listed, these are the official releases, but it was something like simple as like a dodge game, where you're this little pixel and you're just going around the screen dodging a lot of these other pixels, and you just don't want to run into them. Super addicting. So I'm glad I picked this up. So we're going to do a very quick unboxing, kind of show off what you get with these. They're all going to be the same thing compared to the systems, and show off some gameplay of what some of these games are. So we might as well do the Flashback 5 first. There's the box there. These have been opened up. I got them about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I've dabbled a little bit in since then. There's the Atari Flashback 5, pretty much the same thing as the Flashback 4 model. In fact, very much the same thing. And I bet even number 3 and number 2 as well. So that's what that looks like. The wireless joysticks are back. Not a big fan of them. I actually like the joystick itself. It's really awesome. But the wireless signal, you really have to be aiming right at the console itself. You don't want anything blocking the view. If you turn the joystick a little bit so it's facing, it just doesn't work out well. That was my biggest complaint with the fourth one, and they just haven't fixed them. But fortunately, you see here, you can use a wired joystick, which, of course, I think a lot of us big retro fans have one of these. So these work just as well. I actually like these. So power adapter, and no other good bonuses this time. You get 2 controllers. The AV cables are built right into the system itself. And yeah. Oh yeah, let's do a comparison here. I'll gently set this down. I'll trip over it later. Compared to the original Atari 2600, this is the Black Vader edition. Just point that out. That's why this is a little bit of a wood grain. The original ones did come with that wood grain. So for switcher, by the way, you can just see just a nice little comparison there. So, man, it's super light. All these consoles are going to be super light. So that's the Atari Flashback number 5, 92 built-in games. Alright, well, okay, Intellivision's right here. Here's the original Intellivision. This is the Model 1. They did do a Model 2 and Model 3 as well. And actually, this console that it's based off looks more like a Model 3, but instruction booklet as well. Oh yeah, the Atari had the instruction booklet. Here's the actual system again, just super lightweight. I mean, I don't know, it just barely weighs anything. If we do a system comparison, oh, kind of heavy system here. A television and Intellivision, so same color schemes as the Model 1, but looks a lot more like the Model 3. Start, power, reset buttons, see down here. Reset and power. AV cable again goes into the side, very much like the Atari one did. Actually, basically it's the same one. I bet the same AV cable, or wow, AV cable, power cable could be used for either one of these three. I bet it could. Here's the AV cables. I was just looking at those. The Intellivision controller, very much like the, well, original Intellivision controller, side by side comparison. Spot on. The Flashback model is probably just a touch smaller. You can't even tell hardly, but it feels like the same. The weird buttons and the 16 directional slider, the little disc controller, 16 directions there, and the buttons on the side. These feel pretty nice. The original ones were kind of maybe it's my system that feel a little. They feel kind of stiff. Don't really push in as well. Maybe that's just that controller, but these actually push in pretty well. I like these. Unfortunately, I don't believe we're able to use, even though it's a standard 9-pin connector, I don't think we'll be able to use these controllers on those systems. It's not built in to work like that, unfortunately. So that's the Intellivision. Close that up. Oh, and don't worry, we'll show off the list of games once we boot these systems up here in just a moment. We'll show off what gameplay. But always, you know, kind of what the boxes look like. Obviously, the flaps will be closed. They show off all the games on back. The Atari one did as well. And the Colecovision will as well. Really great Colecovision. Man, actually quite a few of these games I really like. Venture, Minor 2049ers in there. Montezuma's Revenge. Ooh, great stuff. So we open that up. Oh yeah, the Intellivision actually came with some overlays. I didn't see those in the box, but I happen to have these right here on top. Because some of these old fashioned controllers actually used overlays as well. See, different games did different functions. So there's the very cute ColecoVision Flashback. Really like that actually. It's a pretty nice design. Compared to the heavy original ColecoVision, great system, one of my favorites of all time. It's really underrated. Glad to be in the ColecoVision family. So big comparison there, but you know, they did a good look and everything. No cartridge slot, but it's okay. ColecoVision original controller. These actually came out. The Intellivision ones don't come out of the system, but these actually can come out because again, look at that 9-pin connector. Compare that to the new Flashback controls. Kind of the same thing as with the Intellivision. The Flashback controller is just a touch smaller. I don't know if you can barely see that. Probably just a thumbnail smaller. Obviously a lot more lightweight. So buttons on the original one were a little clicky, but these are just very nice. Really love the stick up there. There's the buttons. So very nice. I actually really like this controller. Unfortunately, I don't think we're able to use those on the original consoles. Hey, look at that. It's the same adapter for it once again. So I bet they would all work. There's where the adapter goes on the side. Start, reset. AV cables built right in, of course. There they are. Red and yellow. No red. White and yellow, I meant to say no red. So, that's the ColecoVision Flashback. Don't worry, I'll put these in much nicer once the video is done. But yeah, it kind of shows off all the games upside down. The box you get probably will have them right side up. So, and there's the original consoles they're based off of. So yeah, overlay, some instructions, and yeah, with 60 games in the Coleco, 60 in the Intellivision, that's 120, and 92 in the Atari Flashback 5, which, well, what 80 with that's going to give it 200, so what, 212? 212 games. If you were to play one a day, you could pretty much get, yeah, I don't know, 8 months, 7-8 months out of it. Definitely over half a year, let's say. If you were to play just one game out of those systems per day, 212 days worth of games. But unfortunately, some are maybe not worth playing all day long, and definitely a lot of them, especially on the Atari one I noticed, are 2 players. You know, 2 players to play. So, what else did I want to mention? I think that was basically all I wanted to talk about with those systems, kind of showing them off a little bit what everything comes with. Which one do I like the best? Well, I already had the Flashback 4, and a lot of those Atari games that come with the system, Jungle Hunt, Space Invaders, Haunted House, etc. I actually have the actual cartridges for. I have a pretty big Atari collection. Intellivision, pretty much the same thing. There were a lot of Intellivision games. A lot of the best ones are included on this Flashback system, but like the Atari, I actually have a lot of those as well. Actually, just a handful. I just grabbed them down here. A lot of these in the original box. Here's Night Stalker. This kind of plays like Dark Cavern I was telling you about. Complete in box, got the instruction manual overlays. The box itself, the boxes themselves not in very good shape, but you know, and that's just a handful. I have about 45 or so complete in box Atari or Intellivision games. So I would probably say the Colecovision one's my favorite, just because there's a lot of games on there I have not played, and the ones that I do have actually, you know, on cartridge. You know, here's Venture, for example, for Colecovision. Awesome game to play on there. So I have just only a few of those included ones for the actual ColecoVision. So I'd probably say that's my favorite one, only because they have a lot of games on that one that I don't personally have. So I'm having a lot more fun with that, exploring some new games. Oh, and Montezuma's Revenge is on the ColecoVision Flashback. That's all you need to know. It's a fantastic game, ahead of its time. It's a must play. So yeah, the actual cartridge I think is a little bit rarer, or a little more pricey to get. So, all right, let's do in that order: Atari, Intellivision, and ColecoVision. We'll boot them up. We'll play maybe just a game or two really quick on each one, and we'll call it good. So, hey everyone, Kyle here. So I thought I'd let everyone know. I just got done filming some gameplay footage, kind of showed off the games that came with them. We played a couple games on each system. That was a little bit longer than I intended. We had a lot of fun playing some games and showing what games came with those systems. So what I'm going to do that on a separate video. I'm going to upload both these at the same time. But I just thought I'd come and let you know, because I said we're going to do it all in one video. But we were pushing about a 40-minute video, so that's a little bit lengthy. So this is part one. We just kind of showed off the consoles themselves, compare them, open the boxes up, and etc. And then on the part two, we'll be doing some gameplay. So like I said, it just got to be kind of long. I wanted to do it all in one video, but this will be kind of nice, get to split it up, and that way as well, on the second part, we can see a lot more gameplay footage than we originally intended. So I think we'll do that. So everyone, yes, look for part two of this video, where we will be actually playing some of these great games on the system. So thanks everybody for watching this video. It's kind of showing off what the consoles and everything looks like. Give them a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I don't really care, but definitely share the video if you can, because we want to show support for at games here. Boxes everywhere that make these systems. More important than liking the video just for the sake, show off some support. I think this is a great company. I like what they're doing with these Flashback systems, so we want to help spread the word, support these guys so they can kind of continue to make some of these great Flashback systems, and I think they did a great job with these. So helps sell some consoles and everything. Because I think everyone who worked on these definitely deserve a pat on the back and a few dollars for their time and effort producing these products. So make sure to spread the word, if not for this video, at least for the flashback systems themselves. So we'll see you in part 2, or we'll play some games. So thanks everybody for tuning in.